So we remove them, we cut them. That's called second pruning. I hope you are getting me, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And in November, December, new season begins. New buds happen, new fruits comes out, new leaves comes out, and then the flowering happens. Flowers are very important part of this entire process because in flower there are pollens. The male female they get together and then the fruit set happens. Once the fruit set happens, flowers start falling down, and grapes are very tiny, very small. They are very acidic, right?
Yes.
This tiny small grapes. Once they start ripening up, they start swelling, they start getting bigger, they start changing the color. The color changing process is called veraison in technical language. So means we call it at the vineyards veraison happening. Okay, means variation happening. Okay, so the color change process is happening. So the white wine grapes start turning a bit yellowish, and the red wine grapes start turning little purple to like pink to purple then black, right? So in January we start harvest. For our first we harvest for our sparkling wines because in sparkling wine you need little more high acidity, more crisp acidity, right? And after that we harvest for our white wines, and after that we harvest for our red wines and those the red wine grape varieties, because red wine grape variety take little more time to ripen up, and as much as it ripens up, its skin get little thicker and we get more tannins, more flavors, more color from the skin. Any questions so far? You're good to go?
Sorry, the second pudding. You
Sorry?
said second pudding, right? Second pudding, you said.
Pruning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Second one, first, and you said that we can do it twice in a year.
We can get two harvests.
Two harvests.
Yeah.
So it takes 6 months.
Yeah. Less than 6 months actually. The growing, the getting the grape cycle is smaller. For example, in northern region, I'm just giving an example. We take two crops from the soil. One is wheat, one is rice. Simply. So the same way in that area also we can take two harvests. So we don't take two harvests to prevent the plant from the stress. Okay. So we want the plant to give entire the good nutrition to the crop if we harvest once. Yeah, so we get better fruit, we make better wines. That is the ideology behind the one harvest only and two prunings.
Basically, you'll get fruit. Basically, after 6 months, you'll get fruit, right?
Yes, we can get fruit, but that won't be that high quality.
We can get or we do get?
We do get, but we don't take it. We remove. We do pruning.
Okay, we remove it.
Yes, with those green bunches and all, we remove. When the bunches are very
First one, we remove it.
Yeah.
The small one, we remove it.
Yes. Okay. Any other questions? I hope you understood, right? So in April we finish the harvest and the new cycle begins in the same process. Okay. So Growers Empire is the most awarded winery in India. If you gather all the other wineries together, they don't have these many awards. Where we have for our wines, these are all international wine awards. Some are like Decanter Asia Wine Awards, Asian Wine Reviews, Japan Women Wine Awards, where only women taste wine and give ranking to the wine. Okay, and they are pretty fair judges, the images. So this is our pedigree. The topmost start from the insignia, then we have a range of signet. I'll elaborate a little bit about signet. This wine we sell from the cellar door, and it is available, I think, in the Maharashtra market. It is not full-fledged available across the market because the production is very small.
Insignia
Also, insignia is not available in Maharashtra as well. This is available at the cellar door only because we are very limited about this.
This is made for only those who are producing wine.
Sorry?
This wine is only making those who are making wines.
No.
Producers.
This is also for sale, but we sell it from the cellar door. At winery we have a store. When you visit,
Straight away from there.
yeah, we can sell it from there. We have a restaurant as well at the winery.
In Insignia, we manufacture only 600.
600 bottles every year. That's
Yeah,
it. Not much.
Advance order.
Advance order all goes to the duty free, that's Singapore and all.
These are the special order actually. If you have to buy earlier, we were making in 1.5 liter. Now we have started making 750 ml as well. Earlier it was just 1.5 liter only, because 1.5 liter bottle helps us in aging, and this wine has good potential for aging. And this is the most expensive wine also from India.
Signet is also the same.
Yeah, Signet, I'll tell you, these are all, there are 5 Signets you can see in front of you, right? There are 5 different style of wine making with almost 1 grape variety. Only one wine has 5 grape, other 4 has just 1 grape, Shiraz. Yeah, but the different wine making techniques, and that is like good example of wine making from a single grape of different using different techniques and showing the different expressions. And then we have Vandish Tardive, as I told you, this is a late harvest dessert wine made by Viognier, and this is India's only aged dessert wine. And we have Shen, white and red both. In white we have Chardonnay. Unfortunately, we don't have it today for the tasting because it was not available. It's sold out in the market. And then we have Vijay Mitra's 2 labels, as I told you, white and red both. White is 100% Viognier, barrel fermented and barrel aged for 12 months. Okay. Then we have La Reserve family. It's a long range actually. It has 5 different variants. 4 are 2 whites, 2 reds, and 1 sparkling. One is Fumé Blanc, which is an aged Sauvignon Blanc from India. One is Viognier. One is like the previous original La Reserve we started with Cabernet Sauvignon and Shiraz. And new blend we recently added Syrah Grenache to the La Reserve, and La Reserve Brut Royal, as I told you, it is the most aged sparkling wine from India. Then we have Auriga, then we have Zampa Soire Brut Magnifique. Now we have changed the name with the Grower Soire Brut. So Magnifique. Magnifique has a special packing over it, it's a celebration kind of packing or a gift pack, which is a really beautiful bottle. Then we have 2 sparklings with the regular sparklings. One we will try today. This is called Grower Soire Brut, and one we have Brut Rosé as well. And these are the everyday drinking kind of wine for every hotel, for every restaurant, for every bar, art collection series we call it. Chenin Blanc is the baby of COVID. We started making Riesling in 2020. Then we have art collection Chenin Blanc, Merlot in reds. We have Cabernet Shiraz, Rosé we have, which we will try 2-3 wines today. We will try Riesling, we will try Rosé, and we will try Chenin Blanc. All 3 different expressions I'll show you for the art collection. And then we have Vandrier, which is an economical series. Then we have Sante, which is more economical than that. Usually we recommend for if you are having at home, you can have it. It's an easy drinking actually. And then we have Amoran.
Meaning one tree.
There's only one tree around the hill, so we named the wine behind that tree. Yeah, that was the concept. So before COVID, we were present in almost 30 countries. We were exporting to. We are number 1 exporter from India. Our wines are available in most of the Michelin star restaurants in Paris and in UK as well. La Parrish, Alain Ducasse, all those top-notch restaurants. La Reserve is there. So wine making, how we make wines and all. Mithias Pelissard is our winemaker, is the chief winemaker, and we have 2-3 domestic winemaker also, like Abhijit Sinde is there, Sarita is there. She also makes really good wines. And we are still guided by Michel Rollo and his team. So there are different techniques we follow during the wine making process. These are few listed down. Lower the yields is the first priority to control the fruit. If so, for example, how we lower the yield? Do you understand the meaning of this line? Lower the yield. Yield means crop. Okay, overall quantity of grape. So how we lower it? How we control this? We remove some extra bunches of grape when they are raw from the plant. Initially, when the season starts, we do some cutting of raw bunches. For example, there are 16 bunches on a plant. So 6 we remove, so we keep 10. This is an example I am giving you. So the remaining 10 bunches can get better nutrition from the plant, and we can get better fruit, and we can make best wines. Right? Got the concept? Then we in India, labor is not that expensive, manpower. So we managed to have hand harvesting done, and then harvesting means plucking of grape from the plant. Got it? Then we have a cool room at the winery, much bigger than this entire place, to store the grapes, to keep them fresh. Whenever we need them, we take them out, we crush them, and we ferment them. That's how we use it. Then we have a meticulous sorting table as well, and a machine as well. In the next slide, we will see the machine. And we have temperature controlled tanks, stainless steel tanks. Yeah.
first one only, the lower layers.
Yeah.
And you cut down the extra ones.
Extra bunches
Extra
of
bunches.
grape. Yeah.
Okay. So do we produce extra wine year by year, or we have particular numbers? This much wine we can produce.
Yeah, ideally we produce a quantity, and their winemaker knows, like, if they are growing these many plants.
Particular quantity, right?
Yes. There are a particular number of plants are there in 1 hectare, and there are a number of bunches on there, and then we have the idea these many grapes will get this many tons.
And if your consumption goes higher, then your yield will go down. I'm just saying.
Yeah, if there is a more demand, then we have to short, we have short supply. But yes, to maintain the quality, we have to manage that. Otherwise, wine making can go wrong as well. So then we have we use French oak barrels for maturation and aging our wines. This is optical shorting table or a machine. These are only 4 or 5 machines in the world, and in Asia we are the only winery who have this machine. So this machine has a camera inside, air jets inside. It can shorten berry to berries. For example, earlier there was a manual tables, right? There was a conveyor belt, and both the side people used to stand. They shorten the. I'll show you the video how it was done, but we don't have the video for this machine. We are in the process of making that video. It will get soon. So this can shorten berry to berries, means single grape to grape, depends on the size of grape, the color of grape. So this is a very unique machine to manage the quality of wines. All the signet are made. We use this machine to shorten the grape. It can, as I told you, it can shorten the size and the color and the grape quality. Some concrete tanks. We are the only company has installed concrete tanks in India. We are making signet in this, which make very fruit forward wines. There is not much of oak and anything else. So these are called foudre. Foudre are basically larger size of barrels, oak barrels, wooden tank basically you can say. Oak wood is used to make these tanks. So this we have for 1000 liter, 2000 liter. We have 2 different variants. In this we use these also for making signet. Amphoras. Have you seen? So we make signet in amphora as well. This is the most expensive wine we produce. These are a clay pot, basically matka jaise hote apna. It is like that only. Earlier this was used in European countries like Croatia and all. They used to store their wines beneath the earth in these amphoras, and they used to ferment as well in these. So we also ferment our Shiraz in this, 100% Shiraz, and we do not filter that wine. We usually bottle it like that because it doesn't need filtration. All the hard particles settle down, and we get the good wines on the top. We take it out with the help of machine. There is a particular machine for this, and we bottle it directly without filtration, so that you get the pure wine and without change any structure in the wine or characteristics. Alright?
Do we reuse it?
Yeah, we can reuse it. It's reusable. Yeah, it's over the period of time. It takes a lot of time. So these are the part of grape. You see there are 2 parts, seed and stem written there. These we do not use because these impart bitter oil, rough tannins and rawness in the wine. So we do not use them. We remove them by pressing. Okay, I'll show you how it is pressed. And the outer part, have you seen sometime, there's some white part on the grape that is called bloom or ambient yeast or wild yeast. And inside is the pulp, right, which has water, sugar, acids to make wine, right? And skin is the outer part that imparts tannin and flavors, right, and color. In red wine we need color, we need skin. In white wine we don't need color, we don't need skin. I hope you are getting.
Yes, sir.
Right? So for making wines we need grape and yeast, right? So Saccharomyces cerevisiae is the yeast we use, and it is the most commonly used variety of yeast for making wines. So this is how we make a white wine. First of all, we shorten the grapes on the conveyor belt, like the sorting table or in the machine. I showed you, right? The optical sorting machine. Then there are destem, means berries are separated from the bunches. and then crushed it. After crushing, we do pressing. We remove the seed, skin and extra part. If there are some leaves and all has come in during the plucking, so everything is removed during the pressing, right? With the help of press. Then the juice goes ahead in the fermentation tank. That juice is called must, M-U-S-T, must. So in these tanks we add yeast, right? And these are the temperature controlled tanks. We can take the temperature around into minus degrees as well, and in the we can warm it as well. That's how it is called temperature controlled. These are insulated actually. For example, this has two layers, the bucket inside you, right? In the middle there is some liquid which can get heat as well, which we can cool as well. So that's how we control the temperature. So for white wine, the fermentation happens around 15 to 17 degrees Celsius. This is a cold fermentation to retain the characteristic of the wine. If we do the fermentation at higher temperature for white wines, structure changes, taste changes. So that's why we do the cold fermentation. I hope you know that white wines are served at cooler temperature, right? They are served chilled. So that is the reason. If we serve them at the warmer temperature, it gets very acidic. We don't like the taste, right? Then after doing fermentation, we do malolactic fermentation. We transfer this wine from tank to barrels and do a little bit of oxygenation, where there is a bacteria called Oniococcus, usually or Lactobacillus bacteria, which convert the hard acid to soft acid to soften the wines. That's called malolactic fermentation. Once the wine is softened down, we do clarification or filtration, and after that it is, some wine goes for aging, some wine directly goes for bottling. Like art collection and all, we directly bottle, we do not age them. And Lireserve and above, like Vijay Shen, this all goes for aging in oak barrels. Right? Any questions so far? So sparkling wine making process. This is how we make the sparkling wine at Growers. We follow the traditional method. We call it the Méthode Champenoise as well, but as per the European law, we cannot write Méthode Champenoise, so we write it as a traditional method. So in traditional method, we do second fermentation in the bottle. For example, we make the white wine, right? As I showed you the process. We make a bone dry wine where there is no sugar in that. Then we put extra yeast and sugar, the combination of liquid, sugar and yeast in the bottle. And we put the crown cap, you can see the crown cap here, right? And we lay down the bottles like this in the cellar. Now the second fermentation will start. Yeast will again start eating the sugar and start producing CO2 inside it. Once yeast has converted all the sugar into CO2, it has nothing to eat inside, right? It start dying, it start breaking down, that's called yeast autolysis. And once it settles down, that's called lees. It completely dies, right? It becomes like a powder or a sediment, that's called lees. Dead yeast is called lees. So we age our sparkling wine with lees for minimum 6 to 8 months. Okay, that's the minimum aging. For Soirée Brut we have 9 months lees aging. So now we have to remove that yeast, right? And remove, the process is called remoulage. Okay. So in this we have a riddling machine. We lay down the bottles horizontal and start turning upside down. It takes quite time, like it doesn't happen in a day or two. It takes a little bit time, almost 10 to 12 days, 15 days sometime, to get all this yeast settled down at the neck. Once the yeast settled down at the neck, we take out the bottle from that machine and put it into a different machine where there is a brine solution which frees this neck, this part particularly around 1 inch, where all the yeast is there, and we take out the bottle out from that machine and put it to a different machine where there is a opener comes and open that crown cap. You know the crown cap, the Pepsi ke upar lagta tha. It is removed, and in a blink of eye, this frozen part comes out, and from the front the stopper comes, because there is huge CO2 pressure that time, because yeast has generated a lot of CO2, right? It's almost 6 cubic bars, right? Yes. So now this wine is completely dry, right? There is no sugar inside it, and there are different categories of sparkling wine you have seen, right? There are different styles. Some are brut, some are seco, right? Some are dulce, some are extra brut, some are extra dry. Something is written on every different style of wines. If you have seen prosecco, it is extra dry, extra brut, right? It is like that. For example, it is 0 to 5 gram sugar is called brut nature. That's brut natural means there is no sugar, right? If it is 8 to 12 gram, it is called brut. Sorry, brut. Oh, sorry, brut is our brand. Basically, it is called brut. So now, if you go keep adding more sugar, the category changes. It becomes then sac means little bit sweeter than this. Box is more sweeter. Alright, that's the combination of sugar and wine is called liqueur d'expédition. So we do the liqueur d'expédition and we put the cork and then the wire cage. That is called muslin. MUSLET, right? You can say in English is the wire cage, right? Then there is a silver foil on it. That's called capsule. Okay, and then there is a label, and it's ready to celebrate the birthday or anniversaries or any other occasion, right? That's how we make the sparkling wine. You got it, right? Same way you can make rosé as well, but again you have to take the rosé wine for that process. There is no other difference in the making process. It is same. So now how we make rosé at a winery? So this is the method. For example, do you know how rosé is made? There is blend of white, red, wine or grape or something. Any idea? How we make rosé wine? How rosé wine is made? Okay, fine. So we can make rosé with red grapes, right? Or some people, if they want, they can blend some white as well. End of the day, they are getting color from the red grape skin, right? So we usually at Grover make rosé with Shiraz. Shiraz is a red grape variety and it has very thick skin, so we get a lot of color and flavor from that skin. And that's why we do limited maceration. Limited maceration means we let, after crushing, I'll show you, we have de-stemmed the grapes from the bunches. After de-stemming, we crush them. After crushing, we put into a tank directly, where skin start releasing its color, right? That's called limited maceration, because yeast is there in the air as well, so little bit of fermentation starts without adding yeast as well, and there are some wild yeast already available on the skin of the grape, so it start doing the fermentation as well, little bit. So in that time we get the color. So winemaker decide how much color they want. They want light pink, like pale salmon in color, with orangey color, or dark pink, or like a blushy color. It depends on the winemaker. After getting the desired color, we do pressing. We remove the skin, seeds and all other parts, and we take the juice ahead for the fermentation. We take the must ahead for the fermentation, right? And the same process is followed as in the white wine. It is also cold fermented. Okay. Again, after fermentation, there is malolactic fermentation. We do clarification, and after that bottling. We do not age our rosé. Okay. So red wine. Can we make red wine by white grape? The green grapes? No, right? We can make red wines with the red grape, but we can add some white grape as well, because we are getting color from the skin of red grapes. Alright. So after these harvesting, we do de-stemming, then crushing, and then directly goes for the fermentation in the tanks. We do not press. There is a major difference between white and red. In white, pressing is done before the fermentation, and in reds, pressing is done after the fermentation. Got it? So we do maceration and fermentation in these tanks. This fermentation happens at little higher degree of temperature. Okay, almost 22 to 25 degree. So the fermentation takes place little faster. Okay, because red wine has very thick skin, lot of structure, heaviness. So it takes less days as compared to white wine, because in white fermentation was taking place at cold temperature, right? So now after doing the fermentation, we do pressing, and some juice is extracted without pressing. For example, after a few days, skin will start floating up. It's very light, right? And the pulp is heavy, or like some particles are heavy, which settle down. So in the middle, we get the free range juice. We take the quality wines ahead for for the top quality wines, or the remaining ones. The remaining part is used for the economical or some port wines and Amora, all those commercial wines. So as I told you, there are few wines goes for the aging, there are few goes for bottling. Okay. So our reserve wines, especially La Reserve and above, we do hand harvesting for all the wines, and the plants which are a bit older, like they give us better fruit, intense fruit. So we harvest from them, and we do aging, and after doing aging, we do final racking. This is called changing from one barrel to another barrel, and then blending and bottling. So these are reserve wines. La Reserve is aged in French oak barrels for minimum 6 months, then Vijay Amiritras for minimum 12 months, and then Shen for minimum 15 months, then Insignia for minimum 24 months in oak barrels. And we at Grover use maximum French oak barrels, right? Because French oak barrels give more intense, complex flavor to the wine instead of making sweet wine. Our job is done. We have made really beautiful, good quality wines now. It's your duty to enhance that and give them the best service, right? First of all, we need a clean glassware and a proper glassware for every wine. If you see, there are different type of glassware in front of you. Some are smaller bowl glass, some are thin bowl glass, and bigger bowl glass, right? You see, there are different type of glassware used for different wines, right? Why? Why there are different glassware for different wines? Because we serve wines at different temperature of different style, right? For example, it is white or a rosé, we use a smaller bowl glass with a long stem. So we do not touch the bowl, we serve them chilled, right? Temperature is the main thing. And then in sparkling wine, we use tulip glass or a flute glass, champagne flute, right? To retain temperature and CO2 for a longer period of time so we can enjoy it. And then in red wine, we use a bigger bowl glass, right? The bowl is still bigger. So as much as we aerate a red wine, it becomes more smoother to drink and more easy to drink. It opens up, we can get more flavor, more aromas from that wine. Got it?
Yes.
Any other questions? Okay. Wine tasting. How we appreciate wines, right? There are particular steps we follow during the professional and the usual tasting as well. A guest also try and experience that, right?
So minimum aging कितनी है आपकी?
For reserve wines, minimum aging is 6 months. It goes brand to brand. I told La Reserve is aged for minimum 6 months, Vijay Amiritras for minimum 12 months, and goes on. So wine tasting, there are few steps we follow, right? First, there are called 5S. We see color, right? I'll tell you why we see the color. Then we sniff. We take a sniff without swirling it, so you get the primary aromas. Then we swirl it. We aerate the wine, so we get more flavors, more aromas. Then we sniff again. That is the 4th step. Then we take a sip. That is the 5th step. After taking a sip, you swirl the wine on your palate as well, so it touches every corner of the palate, and you can evaluate that wine, right? So I'll explain you the first step. So we see, right? First step is to the visual effect of the wine. So whites are pretty shiny, bright when they are young. They get darker when they are aged. For example, you are having a nice Chardonnay. One is recently made in 2022 and one is aged in 2002 or 2012. For example, 10 years back you go or 11 years back you go. So which one will be the darker color?
Older one.
Yeah, older one, right? So you get to know from the color, this is an aged wine. But sometime due to some bad storage or bad transportation condition, young wine also can get the darker color. So in that case, you need to check the vintage first or the date of bottling, but you can definitely identify it, right? And it depends on the grape variety also. Some grape variety has a darker color initially as well when they are young, like Riesling, Muscato or Muscat. These are the grape variety which has the deeper color as compared to the Sauvignon Blanc, Chenin Blanc or a nice Chardonnay which are young. They have very vibrant color, bright color, shiny color. Red wines are a little opposite than that. They are very intense, very deep when they are young. Young means recently made, right? They start losing its color when they are aged. Okay, so by seeing the color, you can identify this wine is aged or a young wine. For the checking the fault, again you need to check the vintage. If it is a young wine, it is turned lighter. So you need to check the vintage and the grape varieties. Few grape varieties has already thin skin which give light color, like Pinot Noir, Gamay. These are thin grape varieties, thin skin grape varieties, which give very little color. And there are grape varieties like Cabernet Sauvignon, Shiraz, Zinfandel. These are very thick skin grape varieties which give very intense and deeper color, right? Okay. Now, first step is done, right? Second is sniff. You sniff these aromas usually. First of all, we talk about the fruits which are there. In white wines, we talk about white fruits, green fruit, tropical fruits, stone fruits, right? In red wines, we talk about red fruits, black fruits. Red fruits are like cherry, cranberries, strawberries, right? And black fruits are like black plum, blueberries, black currants, any black plum. But the fruit which you have tried, you can name it. If you have not tried, then you don't name it, right? If some, for example, in my first tasting, I got an aroma of jaggery, because that's no fruit, right? So I told to the presenter, sir, I'm getting the aroma of jaggery and some achar. So if you are getting that, you can say like that, right? It should be natural. You don't need to go with word to word, and you have different palate. I have different palate. I might get some different aromas. You get some different aromas. So some wine has the floral aromas like flowers like rose petal, orchid, lily, jasmine, bit of like that. And some white wines has some vegetative notes like green capsicum, asparagus, some leafy aromas, some cut grass, fresh cut grass, right? And some has woody taste which has been aged. Those has those oaky aromas. Some has spicy notes like white peppers in white wines. In red wines, we usually talk about the black pepper and cinnamon, clove, apne to khade masale, right? You can get some notes like cinnamon, clove kind of notes from the aged red wines. And this depends on the grape variety as well, which grape variety you are trying. In some wines, you get some minerally notes like limestones, steely aromas, some earthy notes, like the recently rain happened and you get those earthy notes, earthy flavors, right? And some has bready, bakery, yeasty notes, some sparkling. From sparkling, we usually get these notes. Alright, shall we try the wines now? Everybody was waiting for that, right?
Just waiting.
Everybody looking for gases. All empty, all empty, all empty.
You know, all of them feel sleepy. Yeah? They just wait. I need to drink.
So the first wine we will try is Chenin Blanc, which is a white wine.